Welcome to the second part of parasite Echinococcus granulosus. In the last section, we have started up with the life cycle of Echinococcus granulosus, where we have seen there are two hosts, intermediate host and definitive host. The definitive host, it is a canid, a dog, a fox, or a wolf. So eggs of Echinococcus granulosus passes up in the species of dog. If the food that we eat gets infected with the eggs of Echinococcus, these eggs will enter into the human digestive system from where the hexagonal embryo gets hatched out. And the embryo are carried to the liver and other organs, other visceral organs, where the embryo develops into a hydrated cyst. Hydrated cysts contain thousands of scoliosis. Now, this hydrated cyst ingested by the dog and then these collects head impregnates and develops into a adult worm, and so the cycle gets repeated. Now let us look into the development of cyst, hydrated cyst in man. The egg transformation of egg into larva. The first part, that is duodenum of man or sheep or cattle, the oncosphere is released by the rupture of ova, that is through the egg. Oncosphere hatches and penetrate into the intestinal wall, enters the portal circulation, and is carried to the liver in 60 to 70% of cases, or lungs, or rarely to the other organs. Host immune response may destroy many oncosphere, but few may escape destruction and develop into hydrated cyst. So not all oncospheres hatching in the intestinal wall would convert into hydrated cells. Few of them are destroyed by the immune system also. Oncospheres are encysted by fibrous tissue produced by fibroblast and transforms into fluid-filled bladder-like cyst called hydrated cyst. So the outer covering is fibrous and is filled with the fluid, so the name goes hydrated cyst. This stage is infective to dog and other definitive hosts, and man is a dead end as dog don't feed on human viscera. So usually it's not transformed from man to the next dog. The infective stage is the hydrated cyst stage. Usually this stage can transform to the dogs through sheep and other cattle. Now what happens in the dog, how the cycle develops in the dog. Dog and other canine animals acquire infection by consumption of contaminated viscera of intermittent hosts, that is sheep and cattle, containing mature hydrated cysts. So the hydrated cysts are not transformed or transferred by the feces, rather they stay in the viscera and the organs. And when the dog will consume them, eat them, a dead animal, this cyst may enter into the dogs. The hydrated cysts transform into adult worm in dog's intestine, where the dog becomes sexually mature. Now about the pathogenicity, is related to the deposition of hydrated cyst in the various organs. So the extent of deposition of hydrated cyst in various organs will define how much infectious this cyst is. Hydrated cyst, fully developed hydrated cyst of Echinococcus granulosus is unilocular, subspherical in shape and size, varies from few millimeters to more than 30 centimeters. It appears as a fluid-filled bladder-like cyst. This is the size determination and the appearance of hydrated cyst. The cyst wall, it's important because this cyst stays in the visceral organ for a quite long period of time, and it has three layers. The outer layer is known as the pericyst. It is fibrous and blood vessels produced by the host cellular reaction. Ectocyst is the middle layer. It is a tough, elastic, glycan-rich acellular hyaline layer of variable thickness. It resembles the white of an hard-boiled egg. Then comes the endocyst, the inner layer, which is derived from the parasite. The germinal layer is 22 to 25 micrometer in thickness. It consists of number of nuclei embedded in protoplasmic mass. Its function is to give rise to new organisms. Or now you can see the structure of an hydrated cyst. Pericyst, ectocyst, and endocyst can be seen, and small scolex structures, that is daughter cyst, can be seen growing. They are numerous. Now comes the hydrated fluid. It is clear, colorless to pale yellow, the fluid in which the scolex head is floating. It has a pH of around 6.7 and specific gravity of 1.05 to 1.010. Chemical composition: sodium chloride, sodium sulfate, sodium phosphate, and succinate. It is antigenic, toxic, and anaphylactic. So, suppose if this cyst ruptures and its fluid comes in contact with the human blood, then it can cause anaphylactic shock. Brood capsule rises from the inner side of the endocyst and contains number of protoscoliosis, future heads. Hydrated sand, some of the brood capsules and protoscoliosis break off and get deposited at the bottom and granular deposit to form hydrated sand. Acephalous cyst without brood capsule and protoscoliosis is known as acephalous. Endogenous daughter cyst formed by the breakage of brood capsule into hydrated fluid surrounded by ectocyst and endocyst. So these are the variations that we can see. Now about the clinical feature, what are the clinical manifestations of such type of parasitic infection? This is infection usually occur in children but get manifested in adult life. So the infection enters into human in early stages of life, but the symptoms will come forward only when the person has reached its adulthood. Most common site location of the cyst is liver, lungs, and may be found in other organs like spleen, kidney, brain, and heart, and rarely in bone marrow. They grow up to 5 to 10 centimeters in size within the first year and can survive for years, even decades. Many cases are asymptomatic, and the infection is detected only incidentally by imaging studies. Some symptoms may occur due to pressure effect of enlarging cyst, like leads to a palpable abdominal mass, hepatomegaly. That is, if the size of the cyst increases, it may cause compression of surrounding tissue or organ, which can lead to symptoms of portal hypertension, ascites. It may also cause obstruction in the biliary tract. This can also lead to secondary bacterial infection causing pyogenic abscess in the cyst. Anaphylactic reaction. Cyst leakage or rupture may be associated with severe allergic reaction to hydrated food antigen, leading to hypotension, syncope, and fever. Younger children are more associated with extrahepatic cyst in lung, brain, and orbital signs. So, as you can see, diagram A showing the hydrated cyst in a microscopic structure can be seen in diagram B. You can see that the liver portion of liver having this enlarged cyst present. Now about the lab diagnosis. It is an immediate hypersensitivity reaction to hydrated fluid antigen. Antigen uses sterile hydrated fluid. Procedure: 0.2 ml of antigen is injected in 1 hour. Sterile saline is injected to the other arm as control. Interpretation sensitive patient develop large veins around measuring around 5 centimeters or more, with forming pseudopodia within 30 minutes with no reaction in the control arm. So it's a sensitivity reaction to the antigen. Disadvantage, it has low sensitivity and gives false positive result in cross-reactive cystode species. So the sensitivity of this particular test is quite low. It's not Quinine specific. It might give a false result to other cystode infection. It is largely replaced by serological test. Antibody detection is also done. Various antibody detection methods are used for Echinococcus granulosus cyst flu. These tests are indirect hemagglutination, latex agglutination test, indirect fluorescent antibody test, and ELISA. Western blot and immunodiffusion, electroimmunodiffusion is a confirmatory test. Imaging techniques like X-ray, ultrasound, and computed tomography can also give the exact size and location of such cyst. Hydrated fluid microscopy can also be useful. That is, aspirated hydrated fluid is examined for brood capsule, but direct microscopy or staining with acid-fast stain. Purulent material can be examined after treating with hydrochloric acid. Surgically removed cysts can be subjected to histopathological staining to demonstrate the three layers. PCR technique and eosinophilia hypergammaglobulinemia is also seen. Now about the treatment, obviously the treatment stays as an anti-parasitic drug like albendazole and other chemotherapies. Having dogs are also treated with transicantol and mebendazole, depending on the size, weight, and age of the dog. Prevention can be done by giving anti-helminthic vaccination to dogs on a regular basis, clean slaughter and high surveillance of potential intermittent dose during slaughters. That is, after slaughtering, it should be made confirmation should be done that the viscera and other waste part of the slaughtered animal are not thrown in the open. Body, liver, and lung, which contain hydrated cyst for 30 minutes, have been proposed as simple, efficient, saving way to kill. Thank you. It was all about echinococcus granulosis.